Hello, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the hot seat on MCL television. And today we have as our guest a member of PDP and the candidate of the PDP for the House of Representatives in the last general election for Isukwato Umunnochi federal constituency. And he is Jude Udatara. Jude, it's good to have you in our studio.
Morning, Abians, good morning.
Yes, the elections have come and gone. Yes. We are looking at the aftermath of the election. But what's your assessment of the general election? You were a participant.
Yes, I was involved.
You played a major role.
I was actively involved.
Very much. So what's your assessment?
General assessment, really, the elections were, apart from the second election, the one of the 9th of March, the governorship and House of Assembly elections, which was more credible than previous elections, I must say. But the first election, the one involving me, myself, the presidency and other National Assembly candidates, the far cry from what election should really be. Not because I was declared as having lost in that election, but the guidelines were never followed. Probably INEC was texting their card readers, and the presidency wanted the president returned, and the security agencies were harassing opposition. Everybody appears to be on the side of APC, the presidency, So we saw a lot of, just like being cried all over Nigeria, especially River State and all that, security forces taking sides in the elections and some INEC officials. So, and the candidates didn't work. I mean, it hardly did work. But the second election, they improved. The candidates worked. And the security agencies were a bit neutral. They were neutral. And the will of the people, were expressed. But the first election, we saw that desperation to return, the current government, to return them to power. It was like APC must get votes, everywhere they were not popular. They were not popular in our area. They were not on the ground. But that desperation, to get them to win. And from Abia North, especially those of us from Abia North, there was so much desperation, to give votes to APC. There were intimidation and harassment of our supporters, PDP supporters. In our PDP state, Abia is PDP, and PDP, we say PDP is Abia. So with all that force, to engage us in combat, to intimidate us, to make us, engage in physical fisticuffs, stand up to threat of the security agencies or shooting people, shooting our supporters, beating our people up, and then buying votes, But so that wasn't an election at all, If you add up, the figures never added up. Documents we have to show, results that we had at the polling units. During collection, they changed them, so there was so much corrupt practices in the collection of results, and that's so glaring. That's why today we have in Abia State almost 33 election petitions, before the tribunal. So I saw the records on TV yesterday. 700 something electoral petitions. So much. We really need to get it right. But elections should not be about killing people. I saw Wike crying on TV day before yesterday for lives that were lost in River State. Nobody should die because we want to elect people to serve us. You know, people who go for service, who want to serve the nation, they shouldn't kill anybody. They shouldn't intimidate anybody to be given a chance to serve the people. That is my take on it. So,
and that's why many people believe that the problem of politics and election process lies with the politicians. That the politicians heat up the system and use various means just to achieve power. And you begin to wonder, some begin to wonder whether they are really going for service. You are a politician. And so this blame is also, you are part of it.
I don't blame politicians, 100%. I don't put all the blames on politicians. Sometimes also the people, because it takes two to tango. For instance, vote buying. People who are formed become like a cankerworm, like a cancer, that even in rural areas, even in communities that know themselves, communities that know the candidates to homes, that know the characters of the candidates that are coming out for an election, that are seeking their support, they're seeking to serve them, then the electors will want candidates to give them money before they vote for them. So all blame should not go to the politicians. Even the people they use, the security agencies, for instance, the INEC officials, the ad hoc, youth corpers, people who just came out of the university, who are serving the nation, taking sides, being hosted in homes of ruling party, federal might. People who were even boasting before the elections. I mean, we had implants in their meetings and they were boasting their written results. That was what, was making the news everywhere. And but I was very firm. And in Abia, you can't write results in Abia, you come and force it on Abians, for instance. A state that is a PDP, predominantly PDP. You can't write results in Abia.
But some blame will go to the politicians. You say politicians.
So I say, the security agencies, there are people, ad hoc staff of INEC are not politicians, but they come and take sides and they try to manipulate the system. Because the politicians cannot manipulate the system without the cooperation of the people, the voters, the ad hoc staff, the security agencies. So we all, Nigeria, we all share in the blame. Politicians don't even share the greater blame. There's politicians, unscrupulous politicians, those who really are not planning to go and serve, but to go and amass wealth, who go there to eat from the people. So they come out, they want to bribe, they want to buy votes, they want to pay some security agencies to intimidate opponents, supporters and agents, the polling unit. Now, if they find partners in crime in the ad hoc staff, security agents who are Nigerians, who are non-politicians, you don't blame politicians. There are very good politicians. I want to use this medium to ask people who are very good, who are prominent, who are respectable in their various communities, to join politics so that we can change the system. We can dilute the bad ones, the bad influence of the bad politicians. So if many people come out, this story will change, because if the bad politicians don't see people to enter into marriage, to do bad on election day, they cannot succeed. When you resist them, see the case in the River State. People resisted them. The common people resisted them, and the APC could not achieve what they had planned.
Is it not a case of somebody outrigging the other? When you are outrigged, then you cry foul. That's how people look at it. That politicians are ever in Nigeria are ever ready to rig elections.
The truth is that I'm a member of PDP. I've never been in a forum where we planned, made any arrangement, had any meeting to rig any election. If you know, during the campaigns, PDP candidates went out to campaign, canvass for votes before the election. That's how you know those who really are seeking for votes. My governor went around, we went around, I went 3 times to some places. We did polling unit visits. So we went out for the votes to appeal to the people, to sell our mandates,
and also give some money too.
What I mean, during campaigns, what are you giving money for?
Because this allegation of vote buying is both ways. APC
vote buying on election day.
Oh, sure.
When you give somebody 5,000 to go and vote for you, that's vote buying. But if I come to your place on campaign, give you drinks and then to talk to you,
and give some rappers and salt and all that.
The Igbo culture is somehow played out on our politics that you don't call for a meeting without keeping drinks. In fact, if there are 2 parties to a dispute in Igbo land, the 2 parties must bring drink before the elders and before the community, whether men or women. So we carried it over to our politics that you are coming to see a people, you have to bring drinks. Even these days now in our various parishes, some parishioners mechanically they come to my house for harvest and they're bringing drink and bringing Bible and bringing wine. Somebody is doing wedding, is coming with a bottle of wine, a carton of wine, and inviting you to a party. So it become a tradition, But so we carry it over to politics. But we can accept that. We can
add some money on top of it for
you
sharing.
You come to an Eze, you visit an Eze, you bring kola nut, and then the same time, even you add money to that is they say to top it up, a token voluntarily.
And then
there's nothing wrong with that.
To the people to also share
for transport. They've come from far away.
Don't you consider that as bribing people to vote for you?
It's not bribery.
And not necessarily looking at you or your manifesto. Because some people just go without manifesto.
It's not bribery. I have to grapple with that. It's not like bribery. Some of them some of those people who come for those rallies, who come to listen to you, have left their farm, going to farm. Some have left their businesses, didn't go to market that day, and some of them leave. Most of these rural communities, that's why I like to play politics in my rural community, as I want to serve, I want to speak for them. Those people, some of them live on day to day. So when they leave everything they're doing and come to you, and you notice that really all miserable poor people, there's nothing wrong in putting stipend for them to go back home, at least transport themselves back. That's what it's seen as. It's not like bribe. It's not bribery.
And then when you don't,
some of them actually need that money.
And then when you don't,
they left everything.
And then when you don't give, they will not vote for you, and they will now vote for that person.
No. Some of them, even the rally, they vote. Most of them come and listen and make up their mind that this is this person we are going for. So on election day, some people may even give them money, 5,000 to go and vote for them, and they still say no and go and vote for that person they've listened to. That opportunity to listen to the candidates, their programs, what they are going to do. So it become a tradition that you can't call a group, you can't call a village, you can't come to a community empty-handed. That's a tradition.
This tradition was initiated by politicians because
in the days past,
those who played politics before this generation of politicians were not into doing this.
Yeah, but what I'm saying that
so
is
a culture. Generation of politicians.
It's not politicians. It's a culture they've carried over. Maybe it's a culture. It's a traditional culture that has infiltrated our body politics. That is, you can't come to a people empty-handed.
Would you consider it positive or negative to the politics of our people?
You consider the pros and cons. I've explained to you that somebody, for instance, if an indigent person, an indigent rural dweller, who feeds his family on daily earnings, if he must come and listen to you, spend time, some of them, give them 10 a.m., you are coming, they'll be there. Some people arrive 4 p.m., all day. Some stay all day. That is, they leave whatever. Some people who wanted to go to the farm, for instance, usually goes to the farm early in the morning, doesn't go because he has to wait for the politician. And the politician needs the crowd, needs those people to listen to them. So if at the end of the address, you give that rural dweller 500 naira to transport himself back home, there's nothing wrong with it.
And then, oh sure, okay, there's nothing wrong, but that 500 naira stays for the next 4 years. Becomes
what I mean
because he may never see that man or woman again until the next 4 years, when he will not get another 500 naira.
No. So
to come and listen and go.
If because you transported somebody, or you augmented somebody's transport, or you give somebody 500 to buy water because it's been around you all day, and then you get that elected position and you don't do anything. No. That means you didn't intend to serve.
So, in other words, you don't see anything wrong in a politician who is going on a campaign to a place, going with drinks, with money and other materials
as a politician,
to give to those people who are supposed.
I would have loved to be a politician during the time of Azikiwe, where as a student, 1979, secondary student, I used to go to where Azikiwe was coming, go as early as 8 a.m. so that I could get very vantage position and wait until he came around and spoke his English, and I listened to him, and I go home without getting anything. I would have loved to be a politician in those days, but that is in those days. That is those days. Now, if you are going to a community, first, you have to, even the elders of the community will be waiting for you.
And if you don't bring anything, they will tell their people not to vote for you,
right there,
because you didn't come with anything.
Even if that is so. Ana Abaka, there's an Igbo pro. Ana Abaka. So it's a culture, it's a tradition that has.
And you feel it is okay. You feel.
I wish as a politician,
most sincerely, do you feel that's a good tradition
as a person, as a person spending the money? Of course, I feel the pinch. I would want it to be free. I wish I could come to your house, talk to you, and then go home without even telling you good morning. I wish I could do that. But it's not in our tradition, it's not in our character.
Our latest tradition.
No, tradition, it's been like that.
Anyway, what it means is that if you don't have money, you can't go for an elected position. Are you not bothered about that?
No.
Because if you don't have that kind of money to spend, going to every community with drinks, with money, even to your party people.
The truth is that, yes, money is very important in politics, but money is not everything. Once you are good, for instance, you are good to go, you are good, the community knows that you are good. There are people who are ready to donate, to your campaign.
Would you say,
a lot of people.
Would you say this?
I use myself as an example.
Would you say this about within the party itself, even when you are seeking for
the primary election?
Yes. Would you say so? Because it is
the party primary elections. You don't also have to have stacks of money. If you're a very good candidate, a very good party loyalist, and you reach out to party members, reach out to your friends, and you say with empty hands. You reach out to them and ask them, to contribute towards your cause, towards your dreams. If they check that you're good, but tell you the amount of money I was able to raise from friends, relatives, and
after you must have been
even during the primaries. Once people believe that you're a good candidate, that you're a good person, they contribute. Is that rich? The same as is done in America? Yes, it's just that America even here is also restricted in the amount of money each individual can donate to a candidate. 10 million naira, yes, is the ceiling. In America, I don't know how many dollars, for an individual and then corporation, so it's also fixed. And to tell you the truth, you'll reach out in fundraising, during fundraising. In fact,
are you talking about America? Are you talking
about
Nigeria?
Here in Nigeria.
In primary elections?
In primary elections, here in Nigeria.
Many candidates have come out to complain that they could not meet the funds required for primary elections.
They didn't run good primary campaigns. They didn't. In fact, I had people who were against me, who were against me because I didn't come to them to ask for donation. I didn't come to them for help. I thought I could be independent. People feel that, okay, you think you'll be independent, so you're independent minded. If you also get there, you will not even seek their help. So Nigerians are ready. Nigerians have come of age that once a good candidate emerges, people are ready to support the person. So let people not be cowards by lack of funds at all. If you are a good politician, you've got good programs, your people, you serve your people in some capacity. Maybe town union, you participated in your town union affairs. You've been of help to the community. You've been a spokesperson. You've attended people's, let's say, functions, weddings, burials. You've been active in your community. There's no reason why they will not give you financial support to achieve your political dream. You don't really need to have billions on that. In fact, more often than not, those who are rich, billionaires, who are so rich in communities, people are even scared to let them have political power. They are scared of them. They don't support them. They don't give them that support. They don't get the votes when they come out. So, and that's what plays out. So,
well, that's all right. That has been Jude. That's discussing the process of the larger elections, and of course how parties nominate their candidate. We'll take a break now. When we return, this conversation will continue. Stay tuned.
The need to know arouses curiosity, and the need to inform drives the media. Politics is a way of life. So, how politics plays out and its complexities form the issues on the hot seat. Hot seat. Politics is laid bare by the gladiators.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say, what did man go do for this world where people no go talk? If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, then go talk. What did make you do for this world? I say, make we dey do the things where we carry for heart. Now so world one time. I be not been so.
Keep Abia State clean.
It's good to know you are still there with us on the hot seat on MCLtv, and our guest has been Jude Udachara, the candidate of the PDP in the last elections for the House of Representatives for Isukwato Umunochi Federal Constituency. We've been discussing the politics of Nigeria and the elections particularly. Jude, did you observe that we had more than 70 political parties contesting for the elections, the last elections, and how cumbersome it was, even for the returning officers, to announce the results, results, party by party.
Collect results.
Yes, it was.
I don't know how
it was so visible.
I don't know how we got to this level of madness and the number of registered political parties in Nigeria. I don't know anywhere, any country in the world where we have over 75 registered political parties, and where we still have more applying to be registered. I don't know any other country. Even when it's clear and obvious that you just have only 4 active parties in Nigeria, 4, not more than 4. When I mean active parties, if you check the makeup of National Assembly, for instance, where the House of Representatives, where we have the largest conglomeration of politicians, congregation of politicians meeting to discharge particular function. You don't have them coming from more than 4 parties, APC, PDP, ABGA, and Labour Party. I think 4, maybe almost 5. So yes, I'm not a fan. I never liked IBB. I was never his fan. I never liked the military and their caution into politics. I never liked them disrupting civilian administration. But one thing IBB tried to do and attempted to do, which would have been very excellent for this country and would push our democracy, to enviable heights, who have been having only 2 parties, forcing Nigerians, let me say, or making Nigerians, to choose either of 2 parties, NRC and SDP, a little to the left, a little to the right, as he coined it. And that decision was reached, that advice was given by some, professors of politics, professor of politics, professor of government, civil government, public service. They advised him. They saw that attitude of Nigerians to want to just have their own kingdoms, fiefdoms. Everybody wants to be a chairman of his own party. Everybody wants to be a presidential candidate in every election. Every and Imo State, I think there were about 25 governorship candidates, for instance. So just because somebody wants to be on the ballot paper for the governorship election, it is madness. You see the ballot paper, see the big size. In fact, it was almost an A4 size. So and you had parties divided in columns now. And I saw my illiterate rural population, the elderly women, most of them with very bad sights, looking for logos of candidates of their choice, parties of their choice. We witnessed and saw the bias, that compromise, the biased security agencies, the biased ad hoc staff, taking the hands of the elderly women to say to the broom when the old elderly woman has said, I want to vote PDP. So that's the madness. But if we had only two parties, it would have been easier. The logos would have been bigger, discernible, and people would not be disenfranchised or confused on election day. So I don't know how NEC is going to solve that problem. I don't know, to reduce that number, because it's got to the level that they cannot manage it. And more people are seeking registration. So, 2023, if INEC doesn't put a control or doesn't put their foot down, I learned that they have constitutional inhibitions to do so, to stop people from seeking registration, no parties. We may be going into 2023 election with over 200 parties in Nigeria. 200. I don't know how they can.
So what would be your suggestion? How many parties do you think Nigeria would require for an effective management of our election process?
Maximum 5 parties, just for the sake of giving people, variety, opportunity to, if you can't be in the 2 major parties, APC, PDP, you have 3 other choices to make. If you go for the primaries of the major 2 parties and you lose and you must be on the ballot paper, you now choose, you go to the other 3, because events in Nigeria have shown that, all these years, let's say from 1999, that there are at every point in time 2 major parties. Yes, Abga did try to whip up sentiments in Igbo land and managed to get Abia, Anambra, get them to become Abga, but they couldn't sustain it. So now the PDP are taking over Imo State. So Abga is left with 1 party, with 1 state, which will fall, which may fall, not me say will fall, which may fall in the next election in 2 years' time. So 5 parties at the utmost, or let's say 6 parties at the 6 geopolitical zones, 6 parties, so that if the zones want to now choose their own political parties, they want to belong to one party, you now give them the zones so that people have this choice and freedom.
So wouldn't that lead to more polarization of the country when we are talking about national unity?
Since independence, we've tried to, with our national anthems, with national youth service, with MAMSA orientation, with all the preachings for us to see ourselves as one indivisible nation. 2019, people are still saying we want Biafra. People are still saying we are Mieti Allah Arewa. People are still saying the North is born to rule. People are still feeling threatened to have an Igbo man in the Security Council, So it appears that the polarization will continue. So we don't have to restrict ourselves and try to force people to belong to groups where they think they don't fit. So 6 parties.
Do you think the
6 parties at almost collapse all the other groups to 6 parties, so that people can still stay in their zones and want to have zonal control, zonal parties? So fine. And everything. For them to win a national election, then they must go into marriages with people of the other zones, because no one zone in this country, no geopolitical zone, can produce the presence of this country. Just like in Abia, no one local government, can go it out alone. No one senatorial zone can decide, we will lord it over the rest of Abia. We must continue to produce the governorship of this state, perpetually. So people must talk, people must dialogue. So variety must come together, whether we like it at some point in time, for us to form a national government, for us to run this country. So if a president wins and decides that his kitchen cabinet must belong to his family members, no problems. But when election comes, he must sit down with people from all the geopolitical zones and attempt to win votes there. Because if you don't get 25% of votes cast in 2/3 of the federation, you can never be president. So we need each other. But to get all of us into one party, to get all of us to accept to just belong to either PDP or APC, it will be extremely difficult. Because when people go and fight for tickets in those major parties and they don't get, they need to be given other platforms to try out their popularity, to vent their political desire, to let go.
But don't you think it's high time for politicians
to have 70 is scandalous? That is madness.
But don't you think it's talking about moving from one party to another? Don't you think it's high time politicians stopped this jumping around parties and begin to operate within some principles in a particular party? That your party did not give you an opportunity to go into an elective office does not mean that you change your principle for which you join the party. Don't you think at this time in our political history,
it is
we should begin to
causes me bewilderment, really, what people can do, how people can exit, leave their party, leave and come back again. Let me tell you a thing. After elections on the 23rd, just before the governorship election, because in Abia North, yes, OUK Ojiza was declared winner, and then Kire was declared winner, Chimaya saw the band they lost. Do you know some party stakeholders, appointees, senior special advisors to the governor, some of our major stakeholders, my local government for instance, left us. Just felt that threat, because APC was busy, their members were busy telling them they had written results, that even they were going to take over Abia State. That is it's like a fait accompli. It's done and dusted. Some of us, after our election, left and joined APC. So, when we went to follow electoral material from Central Bank, we saw some of our, party members who were with us just 6 days earlier, 5 days earlier, 6 days earlier. Try to embrace them as our party. Oh, so you came around to help collect them. Say no. I've gone over to APC. They had. They had gone to APC.
Just few days.
Just 5 hours, just because some of us lost.
So it's
went to APC.
You see, it's a very major.
Now the third one was what played out. The harassment, intimidation, and all that. This was going to succeed again in the second election, but we had closed our ranks and decided, to do what some people did in the River State. That is stand up, be ready to be killed, to resist, to ensure that we deliver our governor. So when that happened, the Saturday and their governor won. You won't believe it. The day my governor came to collect his certificate in INEC, I saw some of those people that left us 5 days after coming with the governor to come and collect certificate. They had come back to our party. So some people are shameless. Except, I don't know, and because parties need members, parties need members. Politicians need people. Those who run government, they're politicians, they need people. So when people run away and come back, it's so difficult Because you're looking for members. You want, but you wish everybody is in your party. And that's what has been playing out. You see senators cross-carpeting, even, and then everybody happy. Somebody who used to attack a particular party, attack the president, for instance, tomorrow he now says, I'm now for the president party, and president goes to give him a hero's a welcome, like the father of the prodigal son, welcome with open arms. Because parties need members, politicians need people. So Nigerians take that advantage. So they are shameless.
Many people believe.
They're shameless.
Many people believe that the way parties are run in Nigeria is contributory to this situation, because people don't pay to come into parties, even though they are supposed to pay. The constitutions are there.
There's supposed to be monthly contribution.
Yes, but those
membership card is there. There's provision for membership dues.
But the party leadership,
stipend for that matter.
Yes, the party leadership failed to do to keep to their constitution, and so the administration is so fluid that nobody members are not keeping to the rules of the.
We still come back to this need for membership. The need for membership. So, opposition parties in Nigeria started spoiling it. Before, in those days, if you're a member of PDP, you pay your monthly dues. The party chairman, you use those dues to run the party. But these days now, in fact, cars, membership cards are given free. If you even put 50 naira, sorry, as a stipend for you to get membership card. APC started, APC, do you know what APC was doing? In my own local government, for instance, during the voters card PVC collection, they go to elderly women when they help give them fine card for them. They give them membership card. They go to homes. PDP, you see, you have to go to the chairman's house at least to get or wait for a meeting. Then you come and get registered. But APC was going from home to home to give people card. Even those who didn't want to belong to their parties. If they help an elderly woman to secure PVC card, they give the person APC membership, the membership card that is soft. It's not even, it doesn't cost them money to print. It's like in light paper. They were telling some women came to my place and they had wrapped their PVC cards with APC membership card. The APC member had told them that they needed those two documents to be able to vote. So they were waiting for them to come to the ballot polling unit and say, I'm a member of APC. I want to vote for APC. Until we started telling them that, telling the POs that anybody with membership card there must be arrested. Because you're not supposed to come to polling unit with your membership card or any party logo, party identity. So when they realized that, they now stopped. So we started stopping them and even letting them destroy some of those APC membership cards because they never wanted to be in APC. Rural women, illiterate women. So what I'm saying is that the propensity, that desire to have members, to increase the number, to say, PDP is rated as the largest party in Africa, but APC wants to they want to outnumber us. So first, online registration, house to house, membership drive, so that they can boast and say, we are bigger, we are larger than PDP. So they don't collect dues anymore. So members come, that leave you and come back, you welcome them back immediately. If you are to, so you don't want to tell them, go, we don't need you.
If you are
so
to,
that's the problem.
If you are to be the chairman of PDP,
yes,
what measures would you take to ensure that the party structure, the party is stronger than it is? And so that if you are a party man, you are known to be a party man, and you contribute to the development of because the situation now is that the party on its own cannot fund its operations.
They try to depend on the government or the governor or stakeholders, yes, or candidates. So the candidates that are running for the elections and all that. So
that spend money.
So that has to change.
If you are the chairman, what measures would you take?
That has to change, but
to make the party more cohesive.
If I'm a chairman,
and responsible to
if I'm a chairman of the party, during the let me even tell you, somebody has to fund the parties. You can't put the funding of parties in the hands of poor party members. Most of the party members are very poor people. They're even looking for government to create wealth or stakeholders to help employ them, pay their children's school fees and all that. So, in the past, the federal government,
sorry, just 1 minute.
The federal government used to fund parties.
Just 1
there
minute.
used to be subvention to parties.
1 minute.
Yes.
When you talk about stakeholders,
Yes.
who could be more a stakeholder than the members of the party?
In a party hierarchy, there are people they call stakeholders. The stakeholders are those that actually fund most of the financial requirements of each ward, for instance. If they need to go for rallies, for instance, meetings in the local government headquarters, somebody has to fund. If there's no money in the coffers of the ward, the ward account, for instance, somebody has to bring the bus, pay for the trip. Somebody has to feed them when they go there. If they have to sleep, somebody has to pay hotel bills and all that. So those are stakeholders, people that stake money.
An aberration, more or less, because it shouldn't be like that, should it?
Well, but if we come to have that, so we have people called stakeholders, they're financials of the party. Financials, they've always been their financials. Abiola was a financial of MPN, so he used to get rewarded by contracts and all that. So I think also, even in the advanced countries too, there are people,
but not government,
but not stakeholders. There are businessmen that bring money.
But the government you have elected that emerged from your party should not be the financier of your party, should it?
I wish the burden of running parties should be removed from the governor, because the governor, I pity the governors. I pity my governor. The burden on himself. The burden to provide money for the civil servants, civil service, pensioners, the burden to provide money for contractors working in the state, to provide infrastructure, basic infrastructure that are non-existent, the burden to take care of immediate community, his own area, everybody's problem.
This is across the board.
Burden of every party.
All parties are involved in this.
So I wish that our running party, the cost of running a party,
of course, which is not
paying the party officials, the salaries, those who work, there are people who work, daily in the party offices. I wish the burden can be removed from the head of state governors.
Is it not illegal, this burden on the governor to use public funds to run a party? It's across the board of all the political parties.
I grew up to know that. I grew up to know that federal government, INEC, the National Electoral Commission used to. I don't know why they stopped.
Because it is.
They used to fund political parties and even campaigns. We witnessed that. Maybe the military. They used to give money, subventions, which gave rise to people registering parties, forcing, attempting to register parties, own parties, so that when the subventions come, even if they don't win any elective position, at least they made money. So I grew up to see that federal government was funding parties and elections. And that probably the period that we didn't have to, there wasn't much of vote buying and all that, because parties had money to run campaigns. So, but that is not existing anymore, it's not being done anymore. So, now political parties, where are you going to source the monies from? You have membership, 70% of your members are poor people, rural population, farmers. So, how do they contribute? How much would they contribute for you to execute? So
don't you think
that's why the burden falls back on the governor, maybe on the part of security votes and then the stakeholders. Mostly, listen, most of the funding of the party come from the stakeholders, not even from the government. It's only elections that, okay, the governor probably could come to contribute, I don't know, but mostly stakeholders and candidates of the parties carry the burden of campaign, the burden of running party. I participate in funding my ward meetings from January till the next election. That is stakeholders. The burden is on the stakeholders.
Do you think it's right?
Well, we found ourselves in that position because
Yes, you find
I do politics in a rural community where people
right?
can contribute.
Is it
they can't
right?
contribute.
This-
They
as
can't
it-
contribute much.
As it is now, is it the correct thing to do?
We need to grow our democracy. We need to grow our democracy.
So it is right.
We need to grow our
I
democracy.
take it that
We need to grow our
it is
democracy.
right.
We need to grow our democracy, and we need people to participate, whether they have money or not. We need the members, poor or rich.
And they can
So
come in
those
any-
who are rich,
They can come in anyhow,
those who are rich,
rightly or
those
wrongly.
who are rich to support the party. They should continue to support the party.
Well, thank you, Jude, for sharing your thoughts on the politics of Nigeria, and particularly the last general election. Thank you indeed. for
Thank you,
coming.
Chindi. And it's good to be back to MCL and back to Aba.
Thank you indeed.
Thank you.
And to you out there, thank you indeed for sharing your time with us. We appreciate it, and we thank you immensely. Until same time next week, and on behalf of all of us here in the studio, thank you for being with us. God bless you.
MCL, the world in your home.